Good morning, labor rights, and good morning to all of the comebacks watching from the far you page. Welcome to another episode of Political Hard Talk. I am your host, no other than the great DUJON'S. These people, and we'll get straight in it this morning. This little miscreant that you see on the screen goes by the name Christie. When you look on nine bottom lip, you look crusty. See? Let me tell you something. This is one of the main orators of the Prime Minister's problem that we have seen this morning. These are PNP dregs. These are persons aligned to the People's National Party. Him and his ilk. You know? They are the ones who constantly trying to tear down the Prime Minister and constantly trying to make mischief within the Jamaican. So this brother, Christie, is the one who, for all who don't know, you know, he's the one who, when interviewed, was saying, you should go and ask the Prime Minister. Him and his ilk and the next brother will refer the Prime Minister to get charges. They are the one who were leaking information to Mark Golding, who in turn gave Drayton Campbell the information. You see me, I say allegedly. So we hear. See it? So under no circumstances am I accusing him. This is what we heard. See? Now we are getting at some things this morning. Namely, more and getting at the CG review of Daring, Bunting and Golding. Right? Me have a look at dossier if you get in this morning. Me have go in it. See? But before me go in it, me just tell you now. I, along with all well-thinking Jamaicans, we are praying for the deliverance of our Prime Minister. And we are praying to God, so these persons, this brother you want to see on the screen and his ilk, be sent back from the pit of hell of which they came. You see me I say? Them and the people's national pigsty come to tear down Jamaica and destroy the Prime Minister's reputation. But remember, so me tell you now, say, God are God. And a lot of these people will live for see Andrew Holness and they will live for suffer. Remember, so we did tell you now. See? And as soon as we win the third term, we must dismantle the IC with no apology. And I can't say why the Governor General can't recall them now and remove them. See? Now give me a second, let me load this thing. Where is it? I'm gonna share out the live and like up the live, guys. Right? Good morning, Sister Goody. So this document that I have is a 110-page document. And it is titled Special Report of Investigation. Right? And I quote, Special Report of Investigation conducted into the alleged sweetheart deal involving the government of Jamaica and Daring, Bunting and Golding Limited. See? Minister of Finance and the Public Service, formerly Minister of Finance and Planning. And the contents which was tabled in this report is, alright, may I go now step by step. The introduction, terms of reference, methodology, and findings. What we really want to get into is findings. But we are going to a brief synopsis, or a panty synopsis, because we're not dealing with brief. See it? Anyway. We are going to page 2, which is the introduction, right? Office of the Contractor General, Special Report of Investigation, conducted into the alleged sweetheart deal involving Government of Jamaica and Daring, Bunting and Golding Limited, right? On 2008 May, right? And May 22, 2008, the Office of the Contractor General OCG, acting on behalf of the Contractor General and pursuant to Section 12(1) and 16 of the Contractor General Act 1983, initiated an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the alleged sweetheart deal involving the government of Jamaica and Deering and Bunting, hereinafter referring to them as D, B, and G. See? Consequently, by way of letter which was dated 2008 June 2, the Contractor General wrote to the Honorable Hardley Shaw, Minister of Finance and Public Service, and Miss Darlene Morrison, the acting financial sector, formally advising them of the OCG decision to commence an investigation into the matter. Section 15(1) or Section 15(I) of the Contractor General Act provides that Section 15(1) of the Contractor General Act provides that a Contractor General may, if he consider is necessary or desirable, conduct an investigation into any or all of the following matters. And the following matters are the registration of contractors, tender procedures relating to contracts awarded by public bodies, and that is B, or C, the award of any government contract. Right? D, B, and G, investigation, Office of the Contractor General, and this is page 2 of 110, and the date is 2010 August. Right? There's more bullet point. D, the implementation of the terms of any government contract, the circumstances of the grant issue, use, suspension, or revocation of any prescribed license, the practice and procedures relating to the grant issue, suspension, or revocation of prescribed license. And we are going to Section 16 now. Section 16 of the Contractor General Act expressively provides that an investigation pursuant to Section 15 may be undertaken by the Contractor General on his own initiative or as a result of representations made to him, if in his opinion such an investigation is warranted. Right? Now, I just want to go in a little context why I read into this, But we really want to go down a conclusion, and then we can talk about what we want to talk about today. Alright, let me go closer to the conclusion and start read from this. When I get the gist of what I say, right? Let me just see if you don't understand, and tell me if you don't get the gist of what I allude to. Alright, I'm going to stop at page 47 for now. I'm going to read page 47. Right? Information on the date of initiation of the argument is not available. The agreement for sale is dated January 11, 2002. With respect to the name of the entity and our individual and the title of the individual who initiated the agreement, the circumstances relating to same as well as the date on which such interaction took place, there is no available document kind of skip out some things, but I want to listen to this. With a specific response to the question. However, a cabinet decision was made on December 20, 2001 regarding the sale of Finsac. 70% shareholdings in NCB to AIC. The cabinet submission mentioned that HSBC Investment Bank PLC or HSBC was appointed financial advisor to Finsac in the relation to the sale of Finsac shareholdings in NCB. Its role was to advise Finsac on all aspects of the divestment process of NCB and to scout for buyers for Finsac. Stakes in the bank internationally. So, let me read over here. So, a bullet point there. HSBC was appointed financial advisor to Finsac in relation to the sale of Finsac shareholdings in NCB. Its role was to advise Finsac on all aspects of the divestment process of NCB and to scout for buyers for Finsac stake in the bank internationally. The government of Jamaica official who signed the sale agreement was Mr. Patrick Hilton and Mr. Michael Leachin, signed on behalf of AIC. See? The main terms and conditions of the agreement are as follows. The total number of NCB shares sold and transferred under the agreement was $1.4 billion. I will say that. Ordinary a share of $1. Ordinary a share of $1 each, which comprises of 70% of NCB issued share capital. The purchase price is $6.034 million, and that a Jamaican, with Jamaica 2.650 million payable and completion, and the remaining balance of 3.384 million payable in 8 equal annual installment of Jamaica $423 million, commencing on March 1st, 2003, and on each anniversary thereafter, ending on March 1st, 2010. Interest will occur on the balance of the purchase price from the date of completion until payment in full and payable in March and September each year. Now, I want to get down in a conclusion, but I skip 3 documents because I never read the whole like last night. See, but I just want to get into how Mark Golding and Peter Bunting got into. Good, I see a pin sitting, but I just look on the screen, I miss him, and I see how I'll get pin. Sales of receivables arising from the sale of shares in National Commercial Bank, Jamaica Limited. The second contract which is under consideration is the sale of receivable arising from the sale of shares in National Commercial Bank, Jamaica Limited. By way of a letter which was dated 2004, January 22, a proposal from DB&G was submitted to the Minister of Finance, Dr. Omar Davis, regarding cash flow arising from the sale of shares in the National Commercial Bank Limited. And this would have been Jamaica $2.5 billion, right? It is instructive to note that the memorandum, which was dated 2004, January 26, Dr. Omar Davis wrote to the Financial Secretary and indicated as follows. Please find attached a copy of a proposal sent to me by DB&G. Right? Essentially, it would provide us with cash up from the amount owed to us by AIC. If you are interested, please follow up with Peter Bunting. And here we fucking have it, Jamaica. Omar Davis in a document selling government shares and sending a letter instructing them to contact Peter Bunting, who was a political official at the time. And this the Prime Minister hey, don't get me mad. Integrity Commission, need to leave Jamaica now. Need to pack up and go on. I'm going to read this again so you can hear. It is instructive to note that in a memorandum which was dated 2004 January 26, Dr. Omar Davis wrote to the then Financial Secretary indicating as follows: please find attached a copy of a proposal sent to me by DB&G. Essentially, it would provide us with cash up front. It would provide us with cash up front for the amount owed to us by AIC. If you are interested, please follow up with Peter the Grunting Bunting. Having regard to the aforementioned, it is instructive to note that the OCG, in the conduct of its investigation, issued a written statutory requisition to Dr. Omar Davis, which was dated 2010, April 14. In the reference requisition, the OCG posed the following verbatim question. 1. Reference is made to the agreement for the sale of receivables arising from, and I will send these to every labor right, and we must post them. They must go viral. So labor right to get ready. We need a whole army this morning, because there's no way them can say we Prime Minister corrupt and them investigate him and them not find nothing and them still a try to hunt him down. And here we have concrete proof. Say Omar Davis, Peter Bunting and Daring and Golden colluded and disrupt and destroy Jamaican people's life. And there's no recourse to public funds for Jamaican people who lost their things. And here they are trying to hunt down our Prime Minister. I will send this to every labor right this morning, and we must post it everywhere. We must share the live so people can hear this. And this is a government document. It is downloadable and you can find it. Having regard to the aforementioned, it is instructive to note that the OCG, in conduct of its investigation, issued a written statutory requisition to Dr. Omar Davis, which was dated 2010, April 14. In the reference requisition, the OCG posed the following verbatim question. 1. Reference is made to the agreement of sale of receivable arising from the sale of shares in National Commercial Bank Jamaica Limited. That was consummated between Daring, Bunting and Golden Limited and the government of Jamaica, and which was signed on March 26, 2004. Please provide response to the following question. And we'll go over to page 50 now. Are you aware of reference transaction? If yes, please provide an executive summary detailing the extent of your personal knowledge. And we know Omar Davis saying he know nothing. And the name of your involvement and the nature of your involvement, if any, in reference transaction. The executive or the executive summary should include the circumstances under which you became aware of the reference transaction. Include the circumstances under which you became aware of the reference transaction. 1. 2. The date on which you became aware of the reference transaction. 3. The government of Jamaica rationale for entering into reference transaction. 4. The nature of your involvement in the reference transaction, including any approval given, meeting, convened, and our meeting in which you participated. 5. The name of the entity and our individual and the title of the individuals who initiated the negotiation which resulted in consummation of the agreement. The circumstances relating to same as well as the date of which such interactions took place. And I can't tell you if Omar Davis took part, because I'm a member. But we are going to look for it still. There was a lot of questions, guys, so we're going to move on. We'll move on to page 53 now. The transaction. We are getting to the transaction now. A secure transaction by the government of Jamaica by way of an assignment with full recourse of the post March 1st 2004 or 2004 payment allegation owing by AIC Barbados Limited in respect of the outstanding purchase price under the agreement for sale and purchase of shares dated 11th day of January 2002 made between Finsac Limited, Atrium Holdings Limited, Atrium XS Holdings Limited, and AIC Limited concerning the sale of stocks under the National Commercial Bank to AIC Limited. It must be noted that by way of a letter which was dated 2004 February 16, the then Financial Secretary Miss Shirley Tyndall wrote to the Secretary General Mr. Michael Hilton proposal from DB&G Limited to arrange a secure transaction facility. In the reference letter, the then Financial Secretary indicate in the reference letter, the then Financial Secretary indicated in alia as follows. Or inter alia, as follows. This ministry has received a proposal from Deering, Bunting and Golding Limited to purchase from the government of Jamaica, Finsac. Right? The ministry has received a proposal from Deering, Bunting and Golding Limited, DB&G, to purchase from the government of Jamaica, Finsac. Right? Securitize future cash flow which represent outstanding payments from AIC Limited for the sale of stocks units in the National Commercial Bank Limited in January 2002. We have received the proposal and would like to formalize an agreement in respect of the proposal transaction as a matter of urgency. The cash received from DB&G upfront so after the government put up interest rates for the people them. Under advisement by the way, under advisement by the way of Mark Golding, the government. And when all financial institutions fail, remember say 44 financial bank fail in Jamaica, and after all of them fail, Mark Golding, Deering and Bunting went to the government as the only two, as the only two financial institution left afloat, right? And decided that they were going to buy up all of these people stocks and bonds and shares, right? And the government under Omar Davis sold it to 2 PNP instead of by way of trying to go to a financial institution either outside of Jamaica or invite some in. Right? Them sell it to them friend them. And then them a come talk about Andrew is corrupt. We are going to fight for the government. And we are going to fight to the death. I'm going to try and know that. And I scroll through the document too, you know. But I will want to reach a conclusion. That's where I want to go. May I pick Franny, guys, and read certain part. When I hear this, the OCG has been advised by the NIF that the Minister of Finance, Dr. Omar Davis, did not provide any approval for the reference transaction further. After I refer them, he no provide nothing, but them was the only two person left. You see me I say? And them are in friend. And you know say Omar Davis and Mark Golding are friend because of Omar Davis seat Mark Golding in a today as opposition leader. See? So you can connect that to them. Dr. Omar Davis, the then financial minister, has flatly rejected the foregoing assertion that investment made by the NIF would have required the approval of the Minister of Finance and Planning. In point of fact, in his sworn statement to the OCG, Dr. Davis asserted inter alia that, to the best of my recollection, the requirement of approval by the Minister of Finance was limited to investment which carried risks, such as in real estate. The NIF could make investment without the approval of the financial minister. In light of the provisions of the National Insurance Act and the foregoing contradictory statement, the OCG has been led to conclude that the clarification of the matter will require further legal consideration by the Attorney General and the Solicitor General. Right? Let me see which page me on. I have page 105 out of 110. So we are going to go down in it now. To date, the OCG has not been able to determine whether the requisite approval were granted by the Minister of Finance. We don't need to know if it was granted because he is the one who referred Peter Bunting. And before he referred Peter Bunting, there is no date of the transactions. If that is not corruption, I can't tell you know what is. See? But we must get these things out there, guys. We're going to chop them up and we're going to send them out one. See? I'm going to go down to the last page and see what they conclude. The OCG is concerned that the unsolicited proposal mechanism is a corruption-enabled device which can be utilized by unscrupulous public officials to direct lucrative multi-million-dollar state contract to connected underserving or desired contractors. This can be easily accomplished by influential but corrupt public officials who are willing to clandestinely conspire with a contractor to have the contractor approach to state with what appears to be a unique contracting proposal. So basically, this is why we had to make the Integrity Commission, right? And the only problem is we put some people in there when I know integrity. See? And this is the PNP assertion now. They want to get out Andrew Holness because Andrew Holness has come up with a procurement process where you can't get money like that again in a year hand. You just can't get your MP, can't get raw cash again. A MP can't go draw out cash out of a government account. They have to file paperwork and wait for that the money to come to them. And that's the problem. They can't get rich out of way again the dirty PNP them. See? But we continue the document. Finally, the OCG is obliged to strongly recommend that all public bodies and public offices should ensure that proper procedures are adhered to. So that means a proper procedure was not adhered to when they sold Finsac to Deering, Bunting and Golding, who in turn took away a lot of Jamaicans' property and stocks and bonds and destroy a lot of persons' life. See? Finally, the OCG is obliged to strongly recommend that all public bodies and public officers should ensure that proper procedures are adhered to in the consummation and execution of any and all Government of Jamaica contract. In this regard, the OCG is recommending that every government contract should be finalized and evidenced in writing prior to the execution of same. Right? The aforementioned recommendation should be applicable to all form of GOJ, which is Government of Jamaica contract. Should have even greater applicability, and implementations for financial transaction and commercial agreement in which Government of Jamaica assets or finances are being negotiated. So Finsac was definitely government, we have to call it now. Finsac was owned by the government and which was sold to Mark Golding, Peter Bunting and Deering. See? By Omar Davis. And nobody can tell me otherwise. And then by in turn destroy the lives of many Jamaican people. Me see somebody I say we are clutch at straw. Well, we clutch at straw because the IC essentially, the IC itself has essentially said the Prime Minister is innocent. But yet they are still clutching at straw. You see the blood clot gleaner. We don't make certain say PNP winning election. Because any of PNP na winning election, we the vloggers, we can't tell you no, we hand down the tail. And anything what we get for anybody we work at Gleaner, we are put here road. We remember so we did tell you no. Also we make certain say phone life squeaky clean. Make certain say we don't have nothing to hide. And the floor is now open, guys. I'm sending in a request. Well, everybody busy. Good morning in the labor yard. Good morning, boss. Good morning, princess.
Good morning, labor right.
So what? But
Morning, morning, everybody.
Well
Morning.
done.
Good morning.
Dojan,
Mm.
yes, you are. So, you know, say them they
Hey,
sell
morning, morning,
the
morning,
BLT for
morning,
100
morning,
million.
morning,
So
morning,
that money they
morning,
gone.
morning.
Then sell it, man, for they make billions of dollars.
Yeah,
What
but
does
then
you
sell
want
it.
to read a
Then
while
sell it.
ago?
Who play this up now background?
Good morning, labor rights. Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning,
They
guys.
say that them sell it for 100
Morning,
million
good
US. Yeah,
morning.
Yeah,
but we
because it will
can't.
already start feel already, you know.
No, I know that me I talk about no. But how come in network no reflect that?
Because everything hiding in one trust fund.
You understand? The money hide off.
You have to understand the mentality. I'm a white man, so the Integrity Commission now go really, what you call it, investigate him. Fool them take with her. But
What
them
you say?
investigate people like Andrew, through Andrew come from poor background, humble background. Karen Cross put it best.
Me not listen them a while ago too.
Them did come at Portia to, you know. All
Yeah, and them
because she
still don't
born
kick out push
poor.
down, you know. What they did, you know, they used Carl Blight, you know, and his entourage, you know, to throat Sister P, you know. That's what they did. The woman lose by one seat and them kick her out. You see me? Them put up Peter and them sabotage Peter and choke him because them want the party to run for themselves. How the hell Dayton Campbell, who lose him seat to Crystal, and Bunting, who lose to Randa Crawford, can be jumping up like them a MP?
Well,
Yeah,
you know what?
this is the thing I mean, I understand.
You
What
know
them
what?
want Jamaica for themselves to do? We all
All right, do
understand
you
that them
notice
want the
that we don't see
PMP
Mountain
Prime
anymore?
Minister money because,
Remember, Maris, I have signal
oh,
problem, guys.
oh, oh,
Good morning. Good morning.
You
Good morning,
notice that you're
guys.
not seeing Mountain up and down. Morning, Marcia.
Could
Trevor,
I
You
hold
read?
on,
notice you're not
Trevor.
seeing Mountain jumping up and down. Them in a
we have
problem with
our
him, you know.
dirt
Bunting a
Could
lose
I,
power. Him a lose influence.
Miss Smelly rat tough. Like I noticed. How come him not depend that big press conference where they keep
Bunting a
yesterday?
lose
Yes.
influence.
From them bring up Vibes Cartel on the platform. In other words, it looked like they didn't even say anything to him.
To be
Or
honest, you know
he
that
might have
man. He,
objected. And they
me
still
not,
went ahead with it.
could
me
I read
not think.
something for you guys? Good
Go
morning.
ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
And this was an article in the Gleaner. It was from way back in 2004 and March 31st, and the reporter was Denise Williams, and its headline is DB&G wants to buy bulk on government debt. I'm not sure if it's too long, but I'll see how fast I can go with it. He said investment banker well, the name is here, Darren Bunting and Golden, could be set to purchase the debt owned by Michael Leachin, ACI Barbados, limited to the government to complete the process of the National Commercial Bank. ACI Barbados Limited acquired control interest in NCB in 2002 for $6 billion. The deal saw a deposit of $2.6 billion with the remaining balance of $3.35 billion to be paid off in 8 installments. All we can say at this point is that the government of Jamaica has favorably considered a proposal that we put to them for the securitization and ultimate sales of a large block of their marketable receivable. A source from DB&G head office stated, "We are unable to confirm that ACI/NCB debt. If this is a sale is successfully concluded, it would greatly assist the government in its attempt to contain the fiscal deficit within the most recently targeted levels, and yes, earn a little something as well." Options. And as there have been no affirmative announcement to the government plans regarding their NCB financing arrangement, on Friday, March 26, the Financial Gleaner threw out some options in terms of clearing off NCB debt owned by ACI. ACI Barbados is owned by Leachin, is a company that bought a controlling interest in NCB for cash, plus a note, which is a debt instrument, said Keith Collister, business development manager at First Global Stockbrokers. The most likely scenario is that the government auctions the debt in instrumental as it needs money, probably with first refusal to ACI. Although in that scenario, someone else could buy it. Listen to this. NCB can be assisted in paying off the debt of ACI through a huge dividends to its parents. Although it's unlikely to be able to issue a high enough dividend to pay off the full amount, Mr. Callister said. Obviously, ACI could sell some of its NCB shares to pay off the debt also, although they probably would not want to do that as they may feel they are leaving money on the table. In terms of the price that DB&G could pay for the debt, the company did not give a figure. But Christopher Berry, chairman and CEO of Mayberry Investments, told Wednesday Business that it is a type of deal that is priced all the time as the note as a definitive in-stream, and one can purchase it based on where the interest rates are. One consideration is that the interest rates in Jamaica are high and volatile, Mr. Berry said, with the term of the debt instrument being so long, it could attract a high discount. One analyst said it was possible that DB&G could get a discount of 50% on the dollars. Mr. Callister believed that the loan could be sold for 50% on the dollar. So this is where they were talking about how they buy off these debt and then they sell it back. So he buy it at 50% on the dollar, and let's say they sell it back 100%. Whilst the government will no doubt have offered it to ACI absent a significant discount to face value, ACI may feel that they already invested in Jamaica through their substantial investment in NCB, particularly with their stated preferred policy of using other people's money. Mr. Callister said, the Minister of Finance could probably offer some kind of payment guarantee, just like what Andrew did with his property. It's called a payment guarantee, and a credit enhancement to avoid having to sell what is an illiquid instrument to a private company at a significant discount. And the government should sell their NCB interest, and the government sell their NCB interest to DB&G. It is also speculated that a bond would then be issued to allow investors to share in the risk and reward of holding such a long-term instrument. So you see what they do. The government would go in, have all of these shares, they would sell it to Darren Bunting and Golin, and then they capitalize on it, where they sell it back again to the market. Interest payments from ACI are likely to pass through to investors on a match basis through a special purpose vehicle to set up for that purpose by DB&G, Mr. Callister said. The loan security will, in fact, look like the private placement of a corporate bond to selective investors, probably mainly sophisticated, high international yield investors with high minimums so as to exclude the public at large. I'll read that again. Investment payments from ACI are likely to pass through to investors on a match basis through a special purpose vehicle set up for the purpose of DB&G, Callister said. This loan securitization will in fact look like a private placement on a corporate bond to select investors, probably mainly sophisticated international high yield investors with minimums so as to exclude the public at large. In the first quarter of this year, DB&G has facilitated the sale of the company shares held by the government. The investment bank sold off 80 million shares in the insurance giant Life of Jamaica and approximately 25 million shares of communication from RGR. Stated Mr. Berry, as far as I'm concerned, DB&G get the most of the deal because they are the best investment banker in Jamaica, said Mr. Berry. So this is how these guys, it's not that they're any great investors. They are not. They go around and they buy, they sell. And this is when Omar Davis was Minister of Finance. This is part of what they're talking about, the sweetheart deal. Same with the lockout, and this is what Andrew is doing for the people. Andrew opened Wicton so the poor people could buy it. What they do here, small investors in Jamaica could have gotten some of this deal, but they locked them out and then sell it back 50 cents. They buy it at 50 cents on the dollar. So for every dollar, they get 50 cents off it. And you're telling me these are the same people coming back, want to rule Jamaica, want to tell us how they're squeaky clean. And they have nothing, we have nothing under them.
Marcia, can you tell me what that financial guy name again? I can't remember his name now. Him always a run off him out. What's his name?
I don't think people want to call his name over here. Is that the one, Mr. White Rum?
Okay, all right.
Is that the
Him
one
is
you're
the one.
talking? Is
Well,
that the
no,
hold on?
him
Is that the one you're talking, Mr. White Rum?
Yeah. Him is the one, yeah, who orchestrate that deal. Yeah? Him is the one who orchestrated that deal because I remember when I was a young man, Mr. Perkins came up and found this same document that we're reading now and said, "Oh, come up with that sweetheart deal," and
Exactly.
you know, yeah.
And you know why so many people fell? When them take away the people them business from them, you know, and them are go sell it now to somebody else, which is usually their friends and themselves. The people would say to them, "You're selling it for that amount. I will," let us say them selling the person for like $30, 30 cents in the dollar. Because you realize that's what this article speaks to, right? And
Yes.
when the people know, the people who own business when them are losing, you know, say to them, say to Omar, say, all right, like how you go sell the business at 30 cents to the dollar.
Correct. Sell it back to us.
I will pay 50 cents, 60 cents to the dollar back for my business, and them tell the people them no. Because them have them agenda for them and them friend.
Remember said that is the same thing they did with Eagle Commercial Bank boss, you know. Remember said the man building big old hotel up a Constant Spring Road up the
I
south.
have to run where left it.
Okay.
And then these are the same people, the same band of people, the same bands of thieves coming back now. The only one that is not in here as yet is the Deering. That's the only one that is
because
missing.
Deering is not really bank. Him doing the bank, but
Hello?
he cannot pull himself away from it, you know.
You're sure?
Yeah, him said it was dirt, you know. Him
Yeah,
said
man,
it
I
was
think
dirt.
him
That's why
kind
he
of
take
take
himself.
time pull himself from it.
My dear, that after they make no, let's
Let's
not.
hell yes. That time him done being and wipe and
Thank
sweep
you.
up.
Thank you. So please, they're not innocent.
Nobody's saying him innocent, but I don't think he's innocent.
Master,
Document from them come for belch now. Go on,
Something.
Dujon.
Dujon wanna say
I
something.
make Dujon talk.
Yeah, man, I beg on the floor for 5 minutes, and just listen to this, please.
Now, how much is Mark Golding worth? Let's delve into the numbers. According to his 2021 statutory declaration, Mark Golding's assets included real estate valued at 95.37 million Jamaican dollars, motor vehicles worth 7.75 million Jamaican dollars, and investments totaling 141.71 million Jamaican dollars. He also had cash holdings of 4.23 million Jamaican dollars. On the liabilities side, he had loans and mortgages amounting to 69.57 million Jamaican dollars. This puts his net worth at approximately 179.49 million Jamaican dollars. A notable highlight is his rental income. Contrary to initial reports suggesting a lower figure, updated information indicates that Golding collected over 56 million Jamaican dollars in rental income in 2021. This substantial rental income underscores the value of his property investments and highlights his strategic approach to real estate. However, assessing Mark Golding's true net worth might be more complex than it appears. Like many wealthy individuals, it's possible that Golding holds assets in trusts. Trusts can provide significant privacy and are often used for estate planning, tax benefits, and protecting assets from creditors. Assets held in certain types of trusts might not be fully disclosed in statutory declarations, potentially leading to an incomplete picture of his net worth. While public officials in Jamaica are required to declare their assets, including any beneficial interests in trusts, the specific details of these assets might not be publicly accessible. This means that the true extent of Golding's wealth could be higher than reported. Trusts can shield assets from public view, making it difficult to ascertain the full scope of his financial holdings.
All right, so Mark Golding declared just under $200 million, a net worth of just under $200 million. But
Which is a lie.
But we know, no, we hear this now. He has declared just under $200 million. But we know that them sell Finsac to Scotiabank. Them sell Deering Bunting and Golden to Scotiabank for 54 million US dollar. How much billion Jamaican dollar that be?
Only
Where
for
all of
billion.
that the money they gone? And
They
why
was
not
going
declare
to,
as part
they
and
was
asset?
going
Offshore
to
banking.
start improving.
Offshore
Right now,
banking.
proving, you know, whole heap of problem, you know. This is why they're forcing for an election this year. Proven has not been able to. A lot of people drawing out their money. They're not been able to. The shares not improving in value. And I gather dividends are not being paid to their shareholders. This is the urgency why they need a election so they can come into government to get their hands on our tax dollars.
So why is it that he's not required to declare all of his assets? Because
He has declared them, but him don't declare the ones in the well. Him have a trust fund, but trust fund provides privacy. And remember, he was the one who boasts about it, orchestrated the rules of how the Integrity Commission operates. So he knew exactly what to do.